Well, two meetings is two meetings. And first off, because I've been thinking about this for the last 2 weeks. First, I'd like to apologize for getting angry, I shouldn't have, but sometimes I have a tendency of getting a little bit passionate about things I believe in. I wrote some things down and I just think that I want to cover them. I also invited Tim here tonight for his opinion. But I've been in this position for over 11 years, which is about 270 trustee meetings. When I was elected to this position, I knew what it was involved, that it was 2 trustee meetings a month. And during that time, there was times where it was very inconvenient to make meetings. I would schedule family and vacation time along with, I did at one time work full-time. The vast majority of my time in this position, I worked full-time and not only straight day shifts. When we take these positions, we knew ahead of time that inconvenience. It's going to be inconvenient to us. And when you get elected to a position, you're taking on inconvenience on the benefit of our taxpayers. And it is true that we could probably handle everything that's discussed in a month in one meeting. But I guess my point to that is it's not common for things to come up between meetings that need to be addressed. Really, in the last year, we haven't had too many of those issues come. But again, and I think Tim would agree, that we have had plenty of personnel issues where we've had to dismiss employees. We had discipline issues where we had to deal with. It was brought up about what other townships are doing, and quite frankly, I could care less what other townships are doing. A lot of these townships that are very rural, whether it's Gustavus or Bloomfield or Farmington, don't have a police department. They don't have 2 full two-time road people. I'll guarantee you, we get more grants than they do. So there's times where those things got to be dealt with. And just for an example, on Friday, March 3rd or 31st and April 1st, which was 1 week after our last meeting, there was a text stream sent out between the trustees and the fiscal officer concerning the bids that Bruce just mentioned and on the new police garage and the timeline. And decisions like that in a perfect world could be done in an open meeting, but sometimes it's not practical. So we have to do that occasionally. If we have 1 meeting a month, it's going to happen more often because we aren't going to be able to, we're going to have to. Because I'll be honest with you, in this case it had to be done. But moving forward, if we have 1 meeting a month, I'm not going to participate in those text messages. We're going to do it that 1 meeting a month. These meetings also give people more opportunities to come voice their opinions. I mentioned this at the last meeting. Ask questions or see their government at work. It also gives our government students more choices when to come to these meetings, which historically they've come continuously. While it's true that primarily we have the same people that come to these meetings every month, there have been multiple occasions where others have come, like tonight, for whatever reason. My experience in my 11 years plus of doing this, that this is a bad idea. I have to wonder the motivation behind the thoughts of eliminating a meeting. Apparently, having 2 meetings is a waste of time. At least that's the way I took this when it was brought up. It seems to me that having a second meeting is a waste of time. We get paid, which we did tonight. Anybody in this room know what trustees make in Kinsman Township? Besides Tim? Anybody? Anybody know what this check's for? My check is for $816. That's after taxes.
It's too much.
Okay? If we have 1 meeting a month. So basically my point with this is that coming here for an extra hour a month is a waste of time when we're making this. So, yeah, I'm getting that angry voice again. Okay, and I don't mean to, I apologize. But again, to me, I've been doing this long enough to see the need for 2 meetings a month. And ultimately, if we go to 1 meeting a month, isn't gonna hurt me at all. I'm gonna come here one meeting a month, but I'm gonna continue to do what I do. But the township, as far as I'm concerned, Greg Leonhard's opinion, is the township is gonna suffer. Okay? And like I said before, what other townships do, I could care less. I think the thing that bothered me the most last meeting was that this was brought up in this meeting. I was blindsided by this whole discussion. And as far as I'm concerned, as a board of trustees, when something this important comes up, I shouldn't be blindsided, none of us should be blindsided by a topic brought up that we can't even think about. Because there's no reason that we couldn't get a phone call or a text to say, listen, this is what I want to bring up. Okay, but I don't like being blindsided by it. To me, it's a poor lack of communication, and we're doing a disservice to our public. And there is going to be, you'll know, there has been times where you have emergencies that come up that got to be dealt with. So decisions got to be made. But that has to be more of the exception than the rule. And I guess, like I said, to me, 2 meetings are 2 meetings. Whether we come in the morning before we do it. I guess, again, I'm going to look at this, that if we're going to, I don't see a problem with fixing something that hasn't been broken. I don't see where the way we're doing it has caused a major problem. If something comes up in a meeting that somebody doesn't understand or wants to think about it, and we're just like Jamin did at the last meeting, we can table it until the next meeting. That gives you 2 more weeks, usually, to throw it around in your head and make a decision.
We're going to table that.
I think we need to decide on it, one way or the other. We
We
tabled it last month.
There was no second for the motion, so it should have died at that time.
Well, it really wasn't, only Jamin actually decided to table it, so.
If it wasn't seconded, then it wasn't even open for discussion legally. It'd have to be open for another motion to be voted.